Hey, good morning. This is Spirit Journey, and today is May 25th, 2015, and it is now 2:23 a.m. You're probably asking, what am I doing up at this time? Well, yesterday afternoon, I went to my second works, and works is referring to ayahuasca. This was at a different facility in New York, and I wanted to talk about my experiences today, for it being my second time that I'm taking ayahuasca. Well, I'm going to try to speak up louder, because the other one I felt like I sound like I was going to fall asleep on you guys, so I apologize. So I have to remember there are people going to be watching this and listening, so I have to be more, sound a little stronger, so I could be understood. I'm sorry, this is Lily, my little Havanese dog. Let me tell you what my experience was like. Well, my ride picked me up at my door, and we went upstate New York. The ride was absolutely beautiful. It couldn't have been any more beautiful. And it's something, just going like an hour ride, going up north, and you're in a completely different zone. I saw cows, I saw pastures. It was gorgeous, and it was sunny. We arrived to our destination, and the family has like 26 acres of land, and they have several homes, and it was held in their property. It was gorgeous. It was a beautiful forest. It had a little creek, two little creeks, and someone had the little dog, this Frenchie dog, what they call a French bulldog, and the people were friendly. A lot of Europeans, and of course you had Americans. You had one obvious-looking a black person. She was from Brazil. She was a dark-skinned black from Brazil. Very nice. Excuse me. She was very nice. Real smart. Real sharp person. And she asked me for my contact information. I gave it to her before I left. And I had some really nice conversation today. It was very pleasurable. The people were very interesting, and they were very friendly. Okay, so I thought the ceremony was going to begin at 11 o'clock in the morning. We left New York City at 9 o'clock. And I thought we would get there sometime around 11. I thought it was going to actually start at 11. But it didn't. It started at 2 p.m. Yeah? They had a service for young children there as well. And, I mean, the adults aren't allowed when they're being worked on. And I thought that was a good idea. You want the children to be by themselves. Just like when kids play, you don't want them to play around adults. You want them to have their own little space with adults supervising, And then it was our turn, and you had chairs, set up. And I partook of my first serving of ayahuasca, and they call it Daime. Santo Daime. This is a Brazilian tradition of the usage of ayahuasca for spirituality. It mixes Catholicism, indigenous American, and African traditions. And so I had my portion, the initial one, and that one I felt a little, well, my heart was racing, but emotionally I felt okay. I might have felt at one point maybe a little anxious, but it was okay. And 2 hours later, well, approaching 2 hours later, we had our second portion of the ayahuasca, and that one I was surprised. I didn't really feel a kick. I think they gave me less this time, because I remember the first time I ever took it, that like I went, like a shot glass, and I had my mouth like this, because I held it in my mouth before I swallowed it, and my mouth was full. But this one, my mouth wasn't full, so it was a little less, I guess. And so I didn't get that kick that I had for my first works, as they call it, my first time using the ayahuasca. And so there was another new person there. This was to be her first time taking it ever. And she was telling me that the first and the second serving, she didn't experience anything, and that they said that if it doesn't kick in within 45 minutes, then they'll just give her another serving. And she said at one point, "Oh, let me see if I close my eyes if I see anything, because I don't feel anything." Then she says, she closed her eyes and says, "Yeah, I think I see something." So it's okay, because I wasn't feeling anything either. My body, I didn't have any sensations whatsoever. And then I closed my eyes. Initially I said, "No, I don't really see anything." And then I did it again. I said, "Oh, I think I see something." So I went like this. I covered my eyes like that, because this is outside. This ayahuasca ceremony was actually in the woods. And so you have the sunlight on you. And when I went like this, so I could see the colors, I noticed that the colors are different when you go like this versus when you remove your hands from your eyes. That it's a light color with the natural lighting shining on your face versus covered. And then I bent down forward so I can really feel the plant medicine working in my body. And I felt like a warm, vibrating feeling throughout my body. So I said, when I felt this way before, my first works, I said, what I learned from that experience was, don't fight the ayahuasca, go with the flow, go with the music, and you'll be fine. And keep your eyes closed. So, and lie down. So I said, okay, I'm starting to feel in my body. Let me go and signal the helpers to help me walk to where they have the mat so I can lie down. So I raised my hand and someone came. I said, "Oh, are you one of the workers?" She says, "Yes." I said, "I think I need to lie down. Could you walk me over?" So she did. She assisted me. And it was great. They suggested that I lie flat on my back, and so the energy can flow evenly. So I did that for maybe a half an hour or even more. And then I said, I love to lie on my side, because then I can rock a little bit. It adds a more comfort value behind it. So the last few, I know I was there for over an hour, maybe even two. And Yeah, it felt good. My whole body was resonating. Deep vibrations throughout my whole body, and the visuals were there. By the time I lied down, it didn't seem as intense. Um, the colors were muted, a lot of gold colors. This time, the colors had a golden theme to it. While with my first works, it had uh, pinks and purples, very light, iridescent colors. So I would say that is the color-wise, the bigger difference between this works and the first one. Again, the first one was those pretty, pinks and purples. I even had greens and red. This one seemed almost exclusively golden or golden brown. It was very beautiful, and when you really start to see the visuals, that's when the music starts to sound, even better. Starts to get really good. And then at one point I said, I can sense that it's fading from me, and so I sat up. And then by this time, they were doing what they call dancing, like they do these steps, like a 2-2 step, 2-2, then you go the other direction. And so I said, I'm well enough to stand on my own, and so let me just, continue, just do that and go along. And so that's what I did. And surprisingly, it ended later than I thought. It ended around 9 something, and we were supposed to have a barbecue. Well, we did have the barbecue. I never heard of a barbecue starting at 9 or 10 o'clock, but that's what happened. They put those people who eat meat, they had the chicken on the grill. They had salads, things like that. They're very health conscious. I noticed with these bunch of people who do the ayahuasca. They like their fruits and vegetables. Some of them are vegetarian, but not vegan. They eat the dairy or something like that, or cheese. And I meant to say like milk or cheese or eggs. So the food was nice. And they had a lot of food. Yeah, they were still eating by the time I left. I think we left, it was after 10 by this time. And had a great ride back home. I had company in the car that I was in, and we were just talking. It was very positive. I asked myself, well, we're going to have another work, another ceremony, the end of this week, Friday, and it'll be in New York City. I don't know whether I'll attend that one. This one should be interesting. To my understanding, that this one focuses on like what weaknesses you have, whatever, to like a deliverance, I call it. So I think I might want to go just to see have comparisons, because each ceremony might be a little different, depending on what the theme is. Like my first one, they call it a concentration, meaning at one point, after you take the your portion of the ayahuasca, you do, you just sit quiet and think, meditate, and then other works you might, they don't have a quiet portion, but what do they do now? They just singing the songs, And yeah, that's about it. So this Friday, they might have the thing for the deliverance, and so I'll let you know whether I'll go or not. And I'm curious about the different dimensions between all this. And so overall, for my second Diame/Ayahuasca ceremony upstate was very pleasant, and I met a lot of really interesting people, and so I like to continue, meeting these interesting people, and I'll let you know whether I go to the Friday's works. So peace to you all, and thank you to accompany me on my spirit journey. Please feel free to subscribe, to share, and again, the thumbs up. So peace to you guys. Bye-bye.